Good afternoon. It's meteorologist Michael Fecka. Welcome back to the afternoon 2:30 update. We do this every day here, Monday through Friday. We typically start off with a look at your news and transition over to weather, but we're just going to stick with the weather for today. And we're going to do that because we do have an alert day that I have added now for Saturday. Still looking like we have that potential for some snow and rain mixing together once we go through the day Saturday, eventually changing over to all rain Saturday night into Sunday morning. So very light snowfall accumulations are expected for Saturday, but heavy travel weekend. Of course, a lot of people are going to be on the roadways, and I do think there is that potential for some slick spots. So I want to make sure that your attention, is focused on that potential there with this alert day. But again, it's not for significant snowfall accumulations. It's more or less just for those minor travel impacts going through Saturday. But behind that system will dry out through Sunday and stay mostly dry on Monday, but it looks like another system may try to work in Monday night into that Tuesday time frame. That may bring us another shot of some wintry weather, but I have not added an alert for that yet. It's a little bit too far out in our time frame. Now, regarding the alert that we have for this weekend, there are still a lot of uncertainties going into this storm system, such as timing and how much snow. Obviously, those are the two most important details, so I'm trying to give you as much information as I can, but it does look like we'll see precipitation start here in the tri-state sometime possibly late morning Saturday, continuing through the day Saturday and coming to an end very early Sunday morning. And again, it may start off with some snow or snow and rain mixed, eventually transitioning over to all rain from south to north. And the biggest thing I want you to do is use some caution, especially if you're going to be out driving on Saturday. So let's take it through here. Actually, let me back that up a little bit, moved in a little fast. So we're going to take a look at both models here, and they do have some disagreements. Both systems, or both models, show that storm system moving in, but the timing of the transition to rain is a little bit different, and obviously that impacts our totals greatly. So looking at the European model here, you could see waking up very early Saturday morning. This is around 3 a.m. We're still dry out there, starting off that precipitation with a little bit of rain and snow mixed, but it's a very quick transition over to rain through Saturday afternoon and into the evening hours, and it looks like will remain all rain into early Sunday morning. There may be a quick shot of cold air on the back side of it that could change over some of those raindrops back to a few snowflakes, but by that point, not expecting any accumulation from anything on the backside. Now, taking a look at the European model's snowfall forecast, you can see it does reflect that within its accumulation, picking up pretty much 0 inches of snowfall here in the Evansville area, perhaps a coating along and north of I-64, especially north and west, but that solution is the warmer solution. The other model, the GFS, is a little bit slower with that transition over to rain. So it still starts us off with some snow, and this time this model likes to start us off with all snow, not even really mixing during the onset, and then it continues to snow through much of the day on Saturday until we get into Saturday evening, and that's when we'll start to see that transition back over to rain from south to north. So you can see it's just a little bit later, but the difference it makes is huge, because here's a look at the GFS's model output for snowfall, going from 0 to more than an inch here in the Evansville area. So again, still a little bit uncertain in terms of snowfall amounts. I have put together a very early stab at a snowfall forecast for you. Again, there is a lot of uncertainties going into it. This will likely change, so I want you to make sure you're coming back for updates. I don't want you to take this and run with it for the next 3 days, because I will be tweaking it. So light blue areas here, that's where you could see possibly a dusting, maybe an inch in some locations. I think the best shot of that is going to be the farther north you go. And then if the GFS is holding some weight there with that slower transition over to rain, I do think it would be possible for some areas, especially farther northwest of Evansville, north of I-64, mainly in southern Illinois here. That's where we could see maybe 1 to 2 inches. There could be an isolated pocket closer to 3, but I think that is going to be a little bit harder to achieve there. So very early stab here. Again, very light snowfall accumulations, and if we do see any accumulations, most of that will be on grassy and elevated surfaces like bridges and overpasses, decks, lawn chairs, picnic tables, things like that. I do still think, though, there is going to be some slushy spots on the roadways, especially if we hang on to that snow a little bit longer. So that's kind of what the alert day is in there for. Just want to make sure that you guys are all squared away with all of those details. And again, we'll be making tweaks to this forecast over the coming days, so continue to tune in. But as for the rest of our day, it is Thanksgiving, and if I didn't say it earlier, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hopefully you're about to sit down and enjoy a nice feast for you. We've got temperatures sitting mostly in the 30s, so good thing most of these activities are taking place inside. It is chilly out there. 38 in Evansville and Owensboro, 39 in Henderson, sitting at around 40 there in Madisonville, and the coldest spot on the map, 36 up towards Huntingburg. Now, we did have a little bit of that cloud cover linger around in the morning, but it has all kind of dissipated by this point, and we've got mostly sunny skies across the board. We'll remain mostly clear through the rest of the night tonight, but with mostly clear skies and calmer winds, that will allow those temperatures to cool down very efficiently. So we're going to see them drop back down into the mid-20s overnight tonight. So very chilly, especially if you're going to be waking up early tomorrow morning. I'm not sure if any of you guys still camp out in front of storefronts for Black Friday, but if you do plan on doing that, making sure you're very bundled up for it because it is going to be cold altogether, topping out in the upper 30s again for tomorrow afternoon. Sunny and cold, but we will notice an increase in cloud cover once we get into Friday evening, and that is going to be out ahead of that storm system moving in for the weekend, which I just explained all the details of. So going through your Friday, again, mostly sunny skies out there. Clouds will start to work in through the evening, and they'll thicken up fairly quickly as we head into Saturday, and that's where we could start to see some of that snow pushing in through Saturday morning. But in terms of temperatures here, we're still looking at a cooler than average start to the month of December. You can see that cooler air working its way in from the north. And what does that translate to here on our temperature trend? Well, our average highs are typically right around 50 or 51 degrees this time of year. We're well below that, topping out only in the 30s here for the foreseeable future, all the way into the middle of next week, varying obviously between the mid to upper 30s. And of course, there are a couple of opportunities for some snowfall within this cooler time period, one moving in this weekend and another moving in possibly for the start of next week. Now, that second system, a lot more uncertain than even this one is, and this one still has some forecasting to go through. So I am going to show you what the next system looks like. So this is after this weekend. This is that potential for some more snow as we get into Monday night and into Tuesday. So during the day on Monday, we'll stay quiet out there, mostly cloudy, but then some snow showers will start to work in Monday evening into very early Tuesday. Now, an area of low pressure at the same time is going to be traversing well off to our south. Now, that puts us in a more favorable storm track to receive all snowfall. However, models have continued to trend it farther and farther south, so that may end up allowing us to miss this system altogether. But as of right now, both models do show that potential for at least some snow again as we get into Monday night into Tuesday. It's just depending on the exact track there, we may end up missing it entirely or getting a nice dose. So that's also something we're going to be watching over the next couple of days. So continue to stay tuned with the forecast here. I'm going to cut you loose a little early looking at your 7 days. Again, we'll stay quiet through tomorrow. We do have that snow and rain moving in for Saturday. We have that alert in place, and that'll clear out as we get into Sunday morning, and then the potential for some more snowfall as we get into the start of next week. So that is all I've got here. I'm going to take a quick look at all the comments, see if I can answer any questions for you. Zach is asking if Evansville is expected to get thunderstorms or primarily snow and rain. We're expected to get primarily just snow and rain. Suzanne says, happy Thanksgiving to you. Jessica is excited about the snow. I do not share that sentiment, but I'm happy you're excited. Zachary asking about how many inches of snow with the next system. Way too early to talk about that. So unfortunately, I do not have a good answer for you. But we'll focus on this one moving in for this weekend because that's the one that is going to be impacting us first. So that's kind of what I'll be dedicating most of my brain power to over the next few days. So again, continue to check back with any updates. It's not expected to be a big snowstorm, just maybe a little bit of a travel hassle. So that's why we've issued that alert for Saturday. And again, we'll be back again with more news and weather starting at 5 o'clock on our 14 News channel. We don't have a 4 p.m. today, just a 5 and a 6. And then, of course, we'll be back on later tonight after the football game. So until then, everybody, stay safe, enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving, and stay warm.